What's going on, everyone? Welcome to QVO Games. My name is Juan. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it so much. This video is going to be your guide to backing the Elder Scrolls Betrayal, the Second Era by QVO Games that is currently on GameFound. Right now, we are at $1.7 million raised for this game, and I cannot be more excited to talk to you about this game and also show you the kind of like a contrast between like what to pledge, is it a safe back, and what to keep in mind when backing this game. It's currently on GameFound, like I said, 1.7 million, and that is barely on I believe day 2 of the campaign, which is a lot of money for like a board game, and that is tremendous because Chip Theory, honestly, I've been a big fan for a very long time, and you might think I'm a little bit biased. However, this isn't a review in any way, shape, or form of the campaign. It's just kind of give you a guide on what to consider, what to think about when backing this campaign. All inclusive. Right now in this day and age, we have so many campaigns. I mean, a ridiculous amount of campaigns going on. We have a bunch, and they all reach tremendous amounts of money. And also, you are investing a lot of money into these games. I mean, the base pledge alone for Elder Scrolls Beyond Betrayal of the Second Era is $195. Luckily enough, you're not paying for shipping because Chip Theory does free shipping. That's a plus, definitely a plus. Maybe saves you roughly, I want to say, maybe $20, $30, I want to say. I mean, these games are huge, and I am a big fan. I am a big fan. This isn't a review in any way, shape, or form of the campaign, and I'm going to try to make sure I keep it as non-review as possible and just keep it unbiased because I am a fan. However, I'm going to give you a guide on how to and what to do and how to back this game. So first things first, I'm going to start off and let's switch on over to the main screen here. And it's going to be on GameFound, right? This is the main page. We are at $1.7 million. That is a lot of money. And this game is an expensive game, something to consider. Let's start off with Elder Scrolls and Chip Theory as a whole, right? So if you don't know what this game is, I was very fortunate enough to get to preview this and demo it over at Dice Tower West with Andrew Santero, and he was the most coolest and chillest guy I ever met. He was awesome. I felt like I was playing a game with a friend I knew for like 5-6 years. He was teaching me this new cool game that no one really knew much about, but was going to be on GameFound soon. That is like, he is such a friendly dude, and I really applaud that. I cannot be like any more grateful because that situation didn't feel like a transaction that he was trying to get me to promote the game, even though he really was. It felt more like I was friends with this guy, which is really cool. I felt like a genuine demo from him was awesome, and something you don't really get a lot from publishers who are just trying to pitch you things. I felt like he was my friend and he was teaching me this game. So let's get back to the game itself, right? The crowdfunding campaign for Alpha GameFound. Who is Chip Theory? Can you trust Chip Theory? You definitely can trust Chip Theory. Just always keep in mind this risk when you are backing something on crowdfunding. There's always a risk, and you're not guaranteed a game, right? You're not guaranteed to get back a game in any way, shape, or form, or a product. There is always a risk when backing a game or crowdfunding a game on either GameFound or a Kickstarter. You're never guaranteed a product. You are solely backing this game on the hope that you will get a game back. That is a big risk to consider. Elder Scrolls Betrayal of the Second Era by Chip Theory Games. Honestly, Chip Theory has a really large backing. They have over 18 employees. That's over like 18 employees, over 16. I believe they have like 18 or 16 plus campaigns under their belt already that they have fulfilled. So, and they are a healthy company with great reputation. So you definitely can trust this back. You can guarantee that if you drop $195 on this, you will get a game. You will get a game back. Awesome. Let's start scrolling this real quick and just going to go over what this all is. Elder Scrolls Betrayal of the Second Era. If you don't know what Elder Scrolls is, it's actually originally a video game IP by ZeniMax and Bethesda, right? This is like their baby. This is a really big deal. Elder Scrolls is like a really, really big series. Starting off with, of course, the first one, which I have no clue what the name is, the second, the third, and there's also Oblivion, which is the fourth, Skyrim, which is the fifth, and they even have Tamriel Online, which is the Elder Scrolls MMORPG. Chip Theory Games has taken it upon themselves to turn this into a board game. That is a massive thing. This game is huge. The world as a whole in the universe is a huge game, and they're going to try to contain this into now a board game in typical Chip Theory fashion using chips, and you'll be seeing those chips in this campaign as we scroll down. So they're taking on this game, they are taking this on, and they're going to be making a board game out of it with, of course, their signature chips. This is an idea of what the game looks like. Honestly, the thing about Chip Theory, right? You're already probably scared and looking on the right side of the screen. There is a $195 there. Yeah, you're paying for a premium board game here compared to like, this is like Chip Theory is like the Audi, right? Or like, let's just say like the Lamborghini of board gaming right now. They're selling premium games and sometimes this costs, well, not sometimes, it does cost a premium price to produce these games. So you're going to be getting a lot, especially your money's worth for sure on this game here. This is going to be some of the premium products, your premium components you're going to be getting from them. And it's going to be their neoprene mats, the chips here, of course. There's more chips over here. Nice cards. I believe they're going to be going with similar material of other cards. Do not quote me on this. And by the way, keep in mind that a lot of this stuff is still in prototype form. Therefore, all of this stuff is subject to change at any moment before the game is officially released or before it's delivered to your home. Keep that in mind when looking at this campaign. This is going to be all stuff that are kind of makeshift and it can be changed at any moment because it's just a prototype or demo for demo purposes. I feel like I'm like demoing this game, we're talking about the game itself, but that's going to be all the neoprene mats. That's expensive stuff. That's premium stuff. The chips, of course. This stuff, the materials they use is great because it's water resistant, well, waterproof, I want to say. If you bring this into water, your components are fine. They don't get damaged anyway. You just wait for the neoprene to dry off or just slip the water off the cards and such. So this makes it a little more future proofing for your game, as in it won't get damaged as easily, which is always really good and helpful. I mean, you have to have that. Games nowadays, I mean, when I play games, I mean, I'm usually snacking or having a drink of some sort. So now I can feel safe when playing the game and nothing gets spilled over it. This is going to be some cool stuff here. I want to explain this stuff here of what is exactly going on here. This is going to be your player map, basically. This is going to be your character with its skills. This is going to be, well, the character with its like attributes, and then it's going to, over here going to be the skills that you have depending on the class you've chosen. In the middle here is going to be a little puzzle mechanic system, right? Where you have your skill or health here, and you're kind of balancing how much you want to go on this skill while also balancing how much you want to go on this skill. You kind of have to use this to manipulate and manage all your skills and such, going up and down them. Down here is going to be a fatigue tracker. This is a really cool mechanic. A lot of board games have a fatigue type of mechanic, right? When you're playing with dungeon crawlers and such, when you have actions or some type of material in some way. However, I really enjoyed the way this is done. So this section here is going to be a here where you have your dice, right? You roll dice. You have dice that are slotted in. You roll them to do stuff. When you do use them, you slot them into here. And these white dice here are fatigue. It's basically how long does it take before you can actually retrieve that die and use it again. So use it for your next attack. So you kind of have like a cooldown. You can take a lot of fatigue, but once you max out, bad things start happening if you go over the little section down here on the right. And this is going to be this is a really cool mechanic. I enjoy this a lot about the game. Also, the fact that it's so versed in like the character building. I can have this class, and then you can either be like, you have both sides, female and male art, which is really, really cool. I like that inclusion, right? Because in the game itself, you can choose to be a female or a male Argonian. You don't really have to just be one or the other. I really love that about that. So that is going to be a little bit about what's going on here. The gameplay itself, there is a lot. I mean, you're basically on a big map, right? You're going into different dungeons. Typical thing where you go on travel on this map here. And I want to see, let's get a better picture here, and I'll scroll down and try to get that picture for you now. Let's skip over that for a little bit, and we're going to get to the bigger pictures later, because I do want to go over this. You have to know this. Why back now? Why do I buy now over buying in retail, right? You want to buy now, and the reason why is because you're going to get a lot of extra stuff with your copy. Also, it's not guaranteed that the price would be the same. Usually, from my understanding, I don't think price changes a lot. Do not take that from me, but usually price does go up on these games, and you're getting it for a good price, and you're getting all the Kickstarter stuff. Now, this is another thing here to consider. I don't think everything always is exclusive. However, do not quote me on that, because they could change that at any moment. Nothing in this campaign here says, and usually they have like promos and they sell things later for different things, and they do that a lot with their different campaigns. However, getting it all now, you get your copy, you're guaranteed first pick, right, of your copy, and you're going to also be taking advantage of bundle pricing. You're going to be getting everything for a lot cheaper than after the campaign closes. So that's something to consider if you really are conscious about the fact if you don't want to buy this game. You have to consider the fact that you can get it for a cheaper price now than you would later. Keep that in mind. That's why you're getting back if you consider backing now. In the box, this is what I was looking for, and this is what I wanted to show you. There's just going to be the, of course, character things here, and I want to go over a couple more things here. This is going to be what's in the box, right? The components. These are going to be your skills. These are the different dies here, and the dice look phenomenal. I mean, dice are amazing. These trackers here are going to be for your day tracker and experience tracker, I believe. Counters are going to be, let me make sure about that, 2 chips. Yep, for your party experience and your tracker. So as your character levels up and gets stronger, your game gets more difficult. You're going to have as well you're going to have a lot of different baddies and such included. These are going to be some of your status effect dice. Like this looks just like some of the old games, of course, and previously. And going down more, you have relics and chests and such. And these are going to be more like dungeon cards, delve cards. They're delve cards. And you're going to be delving into different dungeons and such. Well, I call them dungeons still, like delving into maybe like caves and such like that, where you're going to find specific treasure. And it's kind of a little bit like a push your luck system. Like the more cards you try to pull off to find, the harder it can get. So that's going to be a thing about these different types of cards you have here. And going down more, the neoprene mats with all the etching and stuff. Look at the delve mats, and as well as the entrance maps, the clash map. This is going to be where you have all your battles as well. And you're going to have, these are going to be your delve mats. This is going to when you go into a cave or some type of system to go explore to find more relics or loot. I really, like I said, I love loot. I mean, I love nice, cool things. I know a lot of people who play cooperative games with me who adore having the coolest items and gear. So going into delves is pretty helpful and cool in that way. I enjoy that a lot about the game. Let's scroll down to, these are going to be the relic cards. These relic cards are going to have different numbers here. You're supposed to match up the numbers and unlock it with dice. You roll dice, you try to match up. You can use fatigue to try to like re-roll and such. It's actually a really cool mechanic. I enjoy that. I like it a little more than previous games I've used this in, and I really enjoy the fact that it was remastered now. This is the map I wanted to show you earlier that I wanted to get a better picture of. This is going to be like your region map, right? One of the region maps. There's going to be multiple apparently because you're going to be able to travel to different regions, not just one specific one. And they're each going to have their own different guilds and quests and such. So you have a very unique experience every single time. This is going to be a map here, right? This map here is going to be a place where you're going to have different encounters or baddies scrolling the map as well as you kind of traversing, going to different towns and taverns who can offer you different skill, like trying to help you level up your skills, or even go and try to buy different items for these people. And that's going to be on different towns in this area here, as well different encounters you're going to have. You're going to be encountering different things, different like enemies and such, and that's going to be traveling verse here. And then when you encounter them on, like, let's say you meet up on this hex in the middle here, you're going to be having a battle with them, and you then use the battle map up here, your clash mat, to have a clash with them. I enjoy that. Like I said, I think I just cannot wait to have this game on my table and play it again. Because I only got to demo it once, and I want to try it again and again and again. Scrolling down here. These are going to be skill references, of course. You definitely need those. They have so many little nuances of like, this specific skill does this does that, this does that. And I appreciate the fact they're including a card for that, just because we definitely need that. Only because it's so much. So these booklets here are going to be your adventure. Like, this is going to be all the adventures, Black Marsh, different regions, and they're going to have their story or the campaign for that region of the world. And you're going to be able to go through with that book and such. Let's calm down. You're going to have your guilds. I'm going to explain a little more about that later just because they have a better representation of it. And then you're going to have your drawbacks. I'll go over that later, but there's something about the drawbacks I want to talk about. Let's keep going. Rulebook, how to play, all the things that hold your components, your chips, your dice. I'm assuming there's also the dice trays are going to be used as save solutions, so you can actually save dice in there, so you have like your skill saved up for the campaign. And I enjoy that a lot. Like I said, having saves is really good. I don't have to put everything back in the box and then have to look for everything that I had or take a picture or write it down. It's kind of tacky sometimes. So pick a race. Yeah, this is going to be the two races you can pick. You can pick a male or female, and you have your attributes here chosen for you. Each race has something different about them. Argonian High Elf, they're all separate. It's very symmetric, typical just like the game, whatever you go with. Dark Elf, Wood Elf, Orc, Breton, Imperial, Redguard, Nord. I mean, you have such a varying set of classes you can use, so everyone can try something different. You can have such a really cool class going on. I tried the Argonian, and I went with Mage. So I was an Argonian Mage, and I had a lot of fun. I was actually pretty OP. I was pretty powerful, doing a lot of damage. I had destruction dice going on. It was actually really cool and unique. I really enjoyed that part. Like I said, I'm excited to go back in and just try maybe a high elf or try like a different class with like maybe a different like race. I'm excited for that. Scrolling down here, your region, right? This is what I was talking about. You have Black Marsh, you have High Rock, you have Morrowind, and they each have something different to offer to you while you're playing the game. Skyrim, everyone, the most popular region right now, of course. Not including the fact that they have Tamriel Online, which is like that has a lot more regions than just Skyrim does, because Skyrim is just a region in that world. Cyrodiil. So I might be saying that completely wrong. So if I am, I am. I'm sorry about that. Gameplay guilds. So these guilds are going to be the different guilds you can go with that have different quests for you to do. The Fighters Guild, the Mages Guild, the Thieves Guild. If you're a fan of the games, you know that these are different guilds, and they have different ones you can join who have different quest lines for you to do. Also provide you different skills and abilities and level ups in the game itself. Here I think there's a little bit something similar to that where you can use them to level up and level up your skills. So that's going to be with these skills here in the guide. I'm going to scroll down a little bit faster, so as we get through this, we don't have a 30-minute long video for your go-to guide for backing Elder Scrolls Betrayal the Second Era. Skills line and classes, yeah, these are the skills I was talking about, right? Acrobatics, bow, Daedric Summoning, Destruction Staff. I had a Destruction Staff. That's what I was using. Heavy Armor, One-Handed Shield. So these are actually the things that get slotted into your player guide right in front of you, right? Those get slotted in, and you can go up and down those tracks, and that's where the puzzle comes a little bit. Where you're trying to find out, well, do I want to go higher on this skill? Do I want to go higher on this skill? Do I want to get my HP higher, my defense higher? Do I want to retrieve my fatigue, my stamina? Do I want that to go up? It just all depends. It's a little puzzle that provides when you're doing it on your front of your thing. These are going to be your skill guide. These are going to be like your guides to knowing what level and what you can do with your skills. These are really helpful. The thing is, I always forgot what I did with these. It's just so much to keep in mind and track. I'm not sure if like maybe that's just like the way the game is right now, or like just something to consider. There's always so much to track when you're playing these, right? When I was playing the character, I had to like keep in mind this, my skill, the dice I was using, the HP, what I was doing. There's so much going on, but I think that's a good thing. In typical fashion of chip theory games, I have that a lot with like one of the previous games, Cloudspire, and I still love Cloudspire to this day. That game is so much fun. I really, really do enjoy playing that game a lot. And this is going to be something to keep in mind, like cooperatively, like, oh, like I do this and this, and I do that and that. Make sure you keep in mind of all your stuff that's going on. I had a little bit of trouble with that, but they do provide you a good guide here. And I think this is really necessary only because there's so much going on. That's such a cool artwork of wolves. I love wolves so much. Different classes. So these are your classes: Acrobats, Archer, Healer, Necromancer, Nightblade, Scout, Sorcerer, Templar, Warden. So much to choose from, so much to mix and match, so much to consider when you're playing the game. Just like I said this earlier, I think, in the video, and there's going to be like there's so much variety in this. There's so much variety to go through. I really like that about the game. And there's going to be things like the Sorcerer that you can use with this class that does X, it does with your abilities, and then of course the skills you acquire after that as well. I really enjoy that, and I think that's also good because in Too Many Bones, right, and one of the previous games, you have so much to combo with. Can use this character who can go up on this skill and do this with this skill. I think this version of the game is just a little more simpler and compound. They took a couple of good things from different games and added additional things, and they just kind of made it into a really awesome experience, all turned into one. I really enjoyed that. Coming down, character building. Yeah, this is actually a big thing that I thought was impressive. When you're building your character, you get experience points, and you can build your character however you like. And this is what I was talking about, this exact graphic. Yeah, so you're going to go in, you're going to be able to choose how you want to upgrade, where you want to go. Do you want more defense? Do you want more of this skill? Is it working out for you? And you get to input them right into your player, into your, I want to say, I'm not sure what this is called yet. I may say it in the campaign, but I may have missed it. Your character mat. They call it your character mat, I believe. And yeah, it's a little puzzle you have going on there. Up top here is your active dice. Like if you have like maybe a defense 1 or something like that. I didn't get any of those dice, I think, when I was playing, but you can stack them up top. Like I said, a lot of this stuff is subject to change. This is just all prototype stuff. None of this is official. Keep that in mind. However, everything still looks great so far. For this not being officially done, and they're going to do more to make it better, this is good so far. I really enjoy this. The combat system is rolling dice to determine how much damage you do, what you do, and of course you have your little fatigue system here of how much fatigue you are acquiring. I might be saying fatigue wrong. I think there is, and I'll actually make sure about that in a couple seconds. Yeah, fatigue die. Yeah, your fatigue dice go here, and they stack up, letting you know when you're going to be able to recover and how many you recover and when you get them back. So going down, the mats, the play mats here. This is what I'm talking about. You set up, you get a card here. It tells you exactly how to set up. This is going to be your starting zone for characters, and then all the baddies and the treasures. Love the loot. You gotta get the loot. I love the loot a lot. Going down, you roll your dice. That's how much damage you did. Cool. You move. You do all your stuff here. Awesome stuff. Here's going to be your. I believe this is going to be a. This is going to be a pre-made dungeon. The final battle system, the dungeon takes place on the map. This is just more stuff from gameplay. Love it. Just a great little graphic going on here. Like, not graphic, like a good little, almost like a GIF or a video, almost like a GIF at this point, going back and forth. I'm going to go down a little bit faster here. Campaign play. Yeah, so you did the session. Your campaign play is over, but you also gain unique quest-specific keywords on your story that link up different quests. You have like a whole quest book that tells you like, if you have X keyword, do this. If you have do this, do that. And like I said, that's really cool and interesting. I really love that about the game. You're basically just going on a really large adventure. I love that. Replayability. Yeah, this game has a lot of replayability. I mean, you can replay up to 30 unique main lines, multi-step quests. You have over 85 encounters. So you can do a lot, and a lot of things always change. I love that. I mean, I'm always going to own all my chip theory games. I'm never going to get rid of them. But I love the fact that they include this in this game, and there's something I really want to keep in, like, replayability is awesome for me, just because I like if I really, really enjoy a game, I want to be able to play it again with a different scenario and a different thing to do. And that's kind of what I love about that. Eventually, for me, though, after I play every scenario, I do get tired of games after that. However, who and how do I ever, in a good time, finish over like 30 unique quest lines or play through every single, for example, Too Many Bones character? So having that option, though, is still good because those games are never leaving my collection. They're always going to be a staple. I'm going to have them until I die, hopefully. You also get there's also an expansion you can buy. The Valenwood expansion, it adds into some more to the core box, and includes like a new booklet, quests for all the game guides, brand new region specific, and quest enemies. It adds some more gameplay to your game. And apparently, this is not official anyway, but if this hits off and goes well, there may be more stuff in mind if this goes right. So I just hope this kicks off and sells a lot and just launches off into like the sky so we can have more content for this. I'm a big fan of Elder Scrolls. I played Oblivion. I played a little bit, almost all of Skyrim, and I played a lot of Tamriel Online. So I'm trying to get through the games more and play them more often now, and I'm excited for this to kind of talk to you more and cover it more for you. This is going to be some more stuff. The expansion includes some more dice, loot cards, some relic cards, class reference sheets, skill line references, new tune skill lines, quest enemies, region enemies, skill line mini chips, and gazetteers. So basically just more content to play. That's great. I mean, even more stuff for you to do and keep in mind. There's a lot of things. I was watching the live chat for like Chip Theory Games with there's like a Q&A kind of thing going on for the day they launched. And someone asked if there's going to be a trove chest for this. And that'd be so funny. Can you imagine the Skyrim trove chest? I mean, not Skyrim, the Elder Scrolls trove chest. That would be great. Shipping is free. So it's included in all the pledges. Not really free, but it's included in the pledges. You don't have to worry about shipping. So also, that's great. I mean, it's included in the game. You are paying for shipping. They're just saying it's free shipping, but it's included in the game. I think that's fine. You would have paid for the shipping anyways. Big deal. It is what it is. This part here, so you have your pledges. I have made a small infographic that we're going to go to and reference to go over this stuff. But before we do that, actually, no, let's do that now. So let's jump over to the infographic here. This is very poorly done. I am not a graphic artist in any way, shape, or form. I just try to put everything in a way where you can actually look at it and see it all compared side by side. Just keep that in mind. I did not, like I said, I'm not in any way a graphic artist. I just did this in a way to compare them all. So keep in mind your base game pledge, right? Your base game pledge is going to be the base game with all the stretch goals. That is a lot of content, and it's $195. $195 and free shipping. That's a lot of content. That is a lot of stuff. You're already going to get so much content. It's a really good enough pledge for you to play and use. I am sure the Valenwood expansion is not an exclusive. I don't see exclusive anywhere there, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I'll correct it in the video. I'll correct it in the comments or description. But there is no exclusiveness for that. So the Valenwood expansion is going to be included later. You can buy it later, maybe for a bigger price, but you don't have to drop extra money to get it now. The base game pledge alone will give you a lot of content and a lot of stuff to play, a lot of gameplay, and it's going to keep you satisfied for a while. If this may be your first game because you're coming in from Elder Scrolls, right? You're a player who plays Elder Scrolls. And this may be your first game. If this is your first game ever backing, I would recommend going with the base game pledge. Try it out. You're jumping in from the IP, you're jumping in to buy the game. Try out the base game pledge. Just try the base game, try it how you like it, play it out. If you like it, Valenwood eventually, the expansion, I'm sure it's going to be sold online. It doesn't say it's exclusive. They usually don't do that with things make like Kickstarter exclusive, nowhere else. With expansion and gameplay content, from my understanding, from currently as of so far. So, with the base game pledge, it's $195. You're going to pay $195 for it. Perfect. It's perfect for what you need. The gameplay bundle, and this is where the pricing for me gets a little bit off, but I believe it's going to be $230 US dollars. Keep that in mind. I'm doing US dollars. You can actually go to the top of the GameFound page and change your currency. So I'm doing US dollars. That's what I pay. So $230 US dollars. This comes with all the expansion, all the video from the base game pledge, as well as the Valenwood expansion, along with all the unlocked stretch goals. That is a lot of content, and the max amount of content you can get for the game right now. You're going to have a lot to play, and if you want it now to get it bundled up, I mean, that's what I'm doing, and I'm getting it all, and that's what I'm going to be paying for the game because I am a really big fan, and I'm excited for it. That is what I'm doing for it, only because I wanted the gameplay bundle, and that's all I really want. However, this is going to just include a lot of expansion, a lot of content, a lot for you to play. Now, the all-in bundle, if you love deluxified copies of games, I mean, and you love having everything, this is for you. You're paying a whopping $400 and next to extra $170 from the gameplay bundle, but you're getting premium bags, you're getting your dice trays, you're also getting an artwork book, premium health chips, the battle playmat, so it's a large playmat, and all unlock stretch goals. And that's a lot. It's a lot of stuff, extra stuff that you can use. If you don't already have dice trays, I mean, get the dice trays. Keep in mind, you can also buy things separately. Like, you don't have to. You don't have to buy it. I mean, you can buy like the gameplay bundle and buy maybe the bags or the trays or the premium health chips or the artwork book if you like the artwork book, right? The art book, or even the playmat. One thing that's really cool about the playmat, right? I'm gonna go over this just because I want to talk the kind of the pros and cons. One of the cons is going to be that it's $400. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money, and storing playmats for me is really difficult. Right? I cannot store playmats. I have too many as it is. I have a lot of playmats, and storing another playmat is just a lot of work for me. Like I said, I went with the gameplay bundle and I added a couple things from here, and then that's kind of what I did. However, there's going to be a premium health chips. That's pretty cool. I like the health chips. They look great. They look awesome. They have great art on them, and they're going to stack up onto your character. The dice tray, honestly, with that design on it, that's actually pretty sick. I like that dice tray a lot. And you're going to be rolling a lot of dice. So having the dice tray is good. You can also go off and buy another dice tray if you don't want it. But I think this also elevates your experience. That's kind of the benefit of doing premium on things. Elevating your experience with the game. The playmat, the reason why I do like the playmats, but I'm not getting it because I don't have space for it, is because the playmat lays everything out for you. You have the playmat, it tells you this goes here, that goes here, and that goes there, and everything's organized for you and played and just set out. It organizes the table for you. You don't have to worry about that. You set up the game, you do your thing, and you play the game. And it all looks nice and organized and neat. And that's something I enjoy about the playmat. The other side also has cool art, and you can like look into it and just have a cool art section to play and just put everything over it. So the playmat's not bad idea. I did get, and this is what I added to my pledge, was the deluxe drawbacks. And the reason why I got the deluxe drawbacks was because the deluxe drawbacks, you're going to be shaking up chips, reaching in, grabbing stuff over and over again. And I would rather have the deluxe draw bag with better material than like a different bag. I'm not sure if they're going to do like a different, cheaper bag. I have no clue about that. The deluxe draw bag, though, I like it because you're going to be shaking those chips up. They're going to be in there, and you're going to be reaching in a lot and grabbing. You're going to be using that bag a lot. I personally really enjoyed the draw bag, and I think that's going to be good use for me. I did not get the dice tray or everything else in the all-in, only because it doesn't really benefit me, and also because I'm also a really conscious guy about the game. It's an expensive game. It's a really expensive game. However, Chip Theory does this right, and they do such a great job with this game. Like I said, I love the game, and I can't wait to see more of it. And this all-in bundle just gives you the full experience. It's a premium experience. I don't need this stuff for a premium experience, but you may, and that is perfectly fine because it is beautiful. All the components are worth what they cost. You're not getting chunked out. It's all worth everything, and I think that's great. Let's go back to out of the infographic, back to the pledge. Let's scroll down a little bit here, and these are gonna be your add-ons. Like I said, I got the drawbacks. They are $40, and that's kind of what I got. But however, they have everything else here, and you can all buy it separately depending on what you want and don't want. Like I said, the drawback is just the most necessity for me, but everything else is going to give you that premium experience. It's going to be worth your money. I can guarantee you that. Coming down to stretch goals, we have a lot of stretch goals to talk about. I mean, this is probably the reason why you should back the game. Like, you should back the game now. This stuff usually, I'm pretty sure some of the stuff is going to be exclusive. However, some of the stuff may not be. So I don't know what it is and what it isn't, so take everything with a grain of salt. We are at 30 out of 41 unlocked stretch goals right now. And so far we have new relic cards, new side quests, upgraded storage solutions, which is always good when storing your games. Makes it easier to bring out. I love upgraded storage solutions. I talk a lot about that on my channel, and I consider that to be a really big plus or almost like a must for a lot of publishers. Going down the line here, you have new side quests, you have different chips, new items, a spiral bound gazetteer. So now all your books are spiral bound and not just kind of pressed together. I have no clue what the word is when they're pressed. Spiral bound's good. I enjoy that a lot. And you have magnetic counters. Whoa. Now that is a cool one. Wow. So your counters won't just be on a card sliding around. You'll actually be able to have it on a little, wow, that's actually pretty cool. That alone makes it worth for me. And going down the line here, you're going to have a second set of character art. Cool. More character art for your characters. You're going to have more new items, more side quests, more Delve cards, a bunch of new stuff so far. Treasure cache, a reinforced thickness box. That's pretty good because usually keeping in mind, oh, and a new class and a bard. Let me go over this reinforced thickness here first. So yeah, that way your game has reinforced thickness. If it gets bumped or anything like that, you can survive the crash or survive like the bumpness at that point. That's always good. And a new character class, the bard. That is awesome. Deluxe fight round counter die. Oh, look at that. I would love that as well. The Bard, the class. That is cool. I would love to have a new cleric class. And getting that all just included in my pledge. I don't pay extra for it. Let's go over. That's kind of like the stretch goals. That's a lot of stuff to consider, and they're not done. We're still going up in like value here. Like we're still going through stretch goals. We have 11 more to unlock. I cannot wait to see what the 41 is. We got to get to the 41 because I want to see what we get there. Scrolling down to the bottom, we're going to have, risks and challenges, refunds. Okay, I'm going to go over this a little bit because I said this earlier in the video. I think the beginning of the video was keeping in mind, like, this is still a crowdfunding. This is still something you're putting money into in hopes for it to be created. Even though Chip Theory has a really long track record, a really good track record, you never know. Like, you just never know what can happen. And once if something happens and they can't fulfill your game, tough luck, right? Like you said, usually, like, a Chip Theory doesn't really, they have a long track record. They're pretty reputable, so it's hard to believe, but you just never know. You never know what happens. They also do a stable pledge. A stable pledge guarantees you, if they were to change their price 10%, right? If they were to increase their price by 10%, you are now granted a 100% refund, right? You're guaranteed a refund, and they request can be made within 14 days of change announcement. So they're going to announce, hey, unfortunately, shipping or the game has gone up to 10% of whatever you pay or whatever the price was. You are now guaranteed your money back at least. So it has happened before where after a campaign closes, a publisher ends up actually increasing the price. If that does happen, at least with stable pledge, you are guaranteed your money back at least, right? 100% refund upon request after the announcement. And the stable pledge is basically what that Chip Theory has committed to, and you're getting your money back. That's great. That's a great function. I really appreciate that, and that's something to consider. That when you're thinking about risk or taking the risk on this, that's something to consider. At least if they change the price and like, oh, my budget's $195, that's all I can pay, you at least get your money back. All in all, though, Chip Theory is not one to. They have a long track record. They're pretty reputable. I don't see them going anywhere. They're a pretty healthy company, honestly. So I think you're really doing yourself a service. You'll be really safe when you're back at this game. This game is supposed to ship out September 2024. I think that's when actually we're supposed to get this game. Let me make sure about that before I lie to every single one of you. Yes, so it looks like we are going to be getting this game September of 2024. That is when the game is supposed to be shipping. Keep it in mind, shipping sometimes ends up, switching up, and they have to deliver later. That does happen. That does happen sometimes, and the game can be shipped out. With a lot of things as well, keeping in mind is that has happened to a lot of games. A lot of games are pushed back because of specific reasons. There's a lot of risks and challenges going on with what they're doing. And that can happen. However, they've mentioned they have a good track record, and they have delivered games sooner than later sometimes. So that's good. Also, if this game's expensive, there's something really cool going on that I really want to talk about real quick. And if you're still watching the video, I appreciate it because we're actually really deep in now. There's something called Stretch Pay. I should have talked about this earlier. And Stretch Pay is going to be a way you can actually pay the price of the game over time with like monthly installments. That's really good. It's actually easier to manage that way than it is to just pay a lump sum of $200 or $400 that you just can't afford at the moment. You can at minimum pay a certain amount each month and budget that, right? Put it into your budget and try to find, okay, I'm going to be paying so much a month for this game if you really want it. But also keep in mind, if you can't afford a product, do not buy it. Like, do not put yourself in the credit card debt for buying a game. That is my thing about that, is like, do not do that to yourself. So keep that in mind. And thank you. We made it to the end of the video. We're officially here. And we were at the end, and this is a game that I'm really excited about. Hopefully I didn't say anything about reviewing the game. I talked about my experience, might be playing it, but as I'm not trying to convince you to buy it, I'm just giving you a guide on how to buy it, right? And I did say a lot of things that probably are convincing you and trying to convince you, or maybe you're trying to look for convincing. And to tell you the truth and be transparent, I am back in the game. I am back in the game at the gameplay bundle level with the premium bags. I am doing that at least because I am really excited. I am a big fan of Chip Theory Games and their games themselves. Now, like I said, I didn't want this video to come off as I'm pushing a sale or trying to push a sale. I'm just trying to guide you on like what is all going on here. Only because these campaigns are really long now, and like they have a lot of like prints and stuff going on. And I've been backing games for the last 4 years, I believe now, 5 years. Don't consider myself an expert, but I definitely know my way around these campaigns. And things to consider. I think the biggest thing I want you to take out of this is the infographic for sure. The infographic has been like the most helpful thing that I made, and I want you to look at that and just kind of compare what you can and can't do. Thank you for watching the video. I appreciate it. If you found this guide helpful, that's awesome. And I plan to make more in the future for specific games that I really enjoy or want to cover. And if I get reached out by a publisher, I'll definitely, and they ask me to, I'll definitely make a guide for them as well. Thank you for watching the video. I appreciate it. Have a good one.